Hey, I'm Alberto here. I'm okay.
My name's Evan.
We will be discussing two novels in which ways the morality, ethics, and societal expectations shape the characters' experiences with the Frankenstein by Mary Shelley.
Based on the perspective of Swiss scientist Victor Frankenstein and his ugly reaction to his creation of the Frankenstein. And we will also be discussing The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins.
A story from the perspective of the narrator in the Victorian era in a marital role that takes a mental toll for the worse due to the societal expectations of women. How was the men to women dynamic in the Victorian era showed the disparity of how women were treated in a marital role.
Representing how often women's opinions and conditions were discarded just because they were seen as inferior, and how very little anatomy they had in declaring their fate.
In page 652, I told him that I really was not gaining here. Bless her little heart, he said with a big hug. She shall be as sick as she pleases.
This encapsulates how women were patronized. As she tries to address her take on the situation, she is pampered by her husband.
All in all, the unjust and gender discrimination had really gone through with this story. You can see as she drastically gets worse and her mental toll starts to take a big effect.
And for the Frankenstein, the story shows that disaster ensues after Victor Frankenstein, a natural philosophy student, unlocks creation secrets and arrogantly brings monstrous creature to life. I personally liked it because it shows how moral efforts for what seems unachievable to be within reach, even if it's good or bad, even if it's unforgivable or revolutionary.
The doctor in Frankenstein tries to create life from bodily remains of the dead. How do the doctor's actions show his perception of the views of what is right or wrong?
I looked at the two perspectives in the main character, how the doctor wanted to fulfill his creation, then wanted to destroy it, then wanted to listen to it. Every way the doctor saw his creation is how the creation responded. It's how his discovery swayed either direction. Throughout the text, the doctor obsesses over finding a way to bring back dead remains of human body parts, to life. He obsesses so much that his health severely declines when it's stated directly in the text. But once his creation is made, he ends up regretting it and wishing the thing to be dead. But at the end of the story, he talks to the creature and wants to understand it. It supports my response to the question by giving reason to all perspectives on what the doctor has done, good or bad, right or wrong.
I like the Frankenstein because it shows how the moral efforts for what seems unachievable to be within reach, even if it is good or bad, even if it's unforgivable or revolutionary. Let's
What I took
scroll.
away from Frankenstein has to be the fact that no matter how you can do something, no matter how you view something or go about it, it will only change depending on how you view it, how you act on it, and how dependent you are on it, despite what other people think or despite whatever anyone else sees, whether it's good or bad, right or wrong.
And for the yellow wallpaper, it really encapsulated how the isolation and discrimination against being able to have a free will, most of the times being confined to take just like crazy resting medicines, really does screw up one's mental health, shown and depicted in the yellow wallpaper. Alright, well, my name is Alberto here, and thank you
I'm
for
Evan
joining us.
Raymond. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.